Try not to get too contorted because you won't be able to make an adjustment. You want to have all of your effort going in one direction. It's much easier. So keep that in mind. So, inferior portion of PSIS and thrust, right? Somebody was asking me the other day about tissue pulling a tissue. I don't pull any tissues. Sometimes you can tighten the tissue in the direction you're going. What I find most people do is they pull tissue and then they're like out in left field somewhere. So, you know, you got to be really careful. If you're going to be pulling tissue, are you on the contact point? I like to find my contact point, just set up on my contact point. I'm not worried about tissue, make my adjustment. Okay? But you've seen people pull tissue, like it goes from here all the way up to here, and I think they're setting up on the fourth lumbar and they're on the third thoracic. Right? So be very careful. And whenever you torque something too, I know this isn't related, but in a way it is, whenever you're torquing something, you can't torque like this. You're already off the contact point. You have to stay on point when you're torquing. It's like turning a screwdriver, right? You have to stay right there through the whole turn, right? You can't slide off of that. So the same with your torque. If you're like, I've seen some wild things people do, and you're not doing what you think you're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. So inferior portion of the PSIS. If I was going to do it stabilized, I would simply do what? Say, look, I'm going to touch the bones you sit on, I'm going to go like this, right? It's the exact same thing, right? If I was going to do a toggle, here, nice high arch, loosen my drop some, right? Right, yes, sir.
Is it a preference thing, or are there certain situations where you use like stabilize over sustained or toggle or something like that?
I think it's sort of a preference thing. But you know, it's nice to have a couple things in your bag. You know what I mean? I primarily do things a certain way in my office. Like I do Gunstead, but there's times that I can't get the bone to move, either because of my skill level or because of whatever. Then sometimes I'll just toggle it. You know? A lot of people are purists, if you know what I mean, like, man, I'm an activator person, or I'm a Gunstead person. Let me tell you what, when D.D. Palmer adjusted Harvey Lillard, D.D. would say he would rack the vertebrae into place using the spinous process and the transverse processes as levers, okay? Now, a lot of people would shudder at that. But let me tell you what, if you can't move it one way, do it another way. D.D. didn't know what he was doing for the most part. He just said, let me just try to do this. Probably broke the guy's nose. Who knows what he did? But nonetheless, the guy got up and he said, what? I can hear the wagons on the street, you know, first time and so on. If that didn't happen, we wouldn't be here. That wouldn't be here, you know. So I don't have any problems. You know, figure it out the best way you can. Like I use Gunstead probably 98% of the time, but I don't have any problems any other way. So if you learn a bunch of things, try them. Try and say, oh, this isn't going to work there. Well, you never know. Try your toggle. Try your whatever. Okay, PIIN, we're just going to change our corrective process a little bit. Remember, we're going to go to the default move like a PI5, IN5. Okay, the misalignment factors, and you'll understand that when we get into X-ray, but we're going to go as if the PI and the IN misalignments are equal, okay? Here, inferior medial portion now, again, superior hand, thrusting, 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 right? Everybody got that? Okay? The IN and EX, what are we going to do? We're going to square up our stance. We're going to go straight across. You can get away from your patient a little bit. Some of you are still too close to your patient and you don't have enough on your line of drive as far as either going lateral to medial or medial to lateral. So step back and look at it. You know, approach your patient. Don't get over top of them too much. If you're doing it sustained, superior hand, then what am I going to do? Roll them a little bit. Make my throw. If it's stabilized, and if it's toggle. An EX, opposite side, you're standing on the side of the subluxation line, right? For the EX. So I'm on the opposite side of the spine right now. I'm going from the right side, I'm going to work on the left. So, sustained. And I like to point my fingers in the direction I'm going. You know, you can try that. You know, you can do this stuff if you want. I think you'll find it's a little bit awkward. I like to just do that, get a good hold with my patient thrust. If it's stabilized, and if it's a toggle. Right? PIX, I'm going again over to the rib on the opposite side. Again, move the patient wherever you want the patient. Over to that rib, sustained, stabilized, toggle. Right? At the ASs, 3 ways: sustained, stabilized, and toggle. Sustained, I can stand here like this, right? I don't want you back like this. Again, I want you to come over this way. I can do sustained this way, or I can do what? I can pivot to the superior, right? And don't be afraid to pivot all the way around. It'll help you, right? Stabilized, I can do that again squared, right? I'm going to use my MCP here. Contact, stabilize the opposite side, thrust here, or pivot to the inferior here, right? Toggle. Double PI, you're probably going to be using your thenars somewhere down in this part of your hand. I think thenars work the best. Inferior portion of the PSIS, aiming just beneath both shoulders. Double AS, I'm going to pivot the opposite direction towards the superior. And again, now I'll be using the heel of my hand, whatever here. And I find if you open your hands up when you're doing these double PIs, it works better than trying to go just like this. You open your hands up, get a good hold of the patient. Okay, do I need a model to do this with? No, is that enough review? Okay, grab